Hello and welcome to Prepco's Career Series. Today we're going to take a look at consulting as a career option. What does it mean? What does a consultant do? How is your life going to be? What's a regular day in the life of a consultant? All these questions and more. Very few people in consulting can say that they've always wanted to be consultants. You know how it works. I want to get into advertising because I'm creative. I want to be an author because I write well. I want to become a banker, or rather an iBanker these days, because I want to make money. Or I want to be a lawyer because I debate well. I want to become a consultant because what's consulting? While the management consulting industry has been around since the late 19th century, it really took off in the 1980s and 1990s thanks to a very strong global economy, the rise of large conglomerates, and increasing globalization. Many consulting companies were the first to stress on the use of data and analytics to solve business problems. The industry boomed and was hiring MBA graduates left and right. For a couple of decades, the top consulting companies have been day zero firms, companies that are so coveted that they're given top billing in placements at the top B schools in India. But what does a consultant actually do? Now, enough and more people describe consulting as making PPTs all day. Fair enough, there's no denying that consultants spend a good amount of time making PowerPoint presentations. But what do you put in those presentations? If you don't know much about a consultant's life right now, you're far from the only one. It's probable that if you're a student wondering about a career in consulting, it's for one or more of the following reasons. It pays well. You get to wear fancy suits, travel a lot, work with top management. Or it's day zero and day one on campus, and all the smart people want to do it. And so on. Yes, these are all mostly true. However, there's a lot more that goes into making a career choice. And none of these points answers a core question. Are you a good fit for the profession? And what will you actually do there? So let's dig deeper and try to understand what the industry actually does and what problems it solves. So firstly, when does someone actually hire a consultant? Let's say you're running a multi-million-dollar tire manufacturer company in Spain. You've successfully expanded all over Europe and have heard so much about the Indian market and its potential for 8% GDP growth that you want to start selling in the Indian market now. Now, you won't just ship some tires across the ocean and see how it goes, right? You need a market entry strategy and an action plan that answers the following questions. How big is the tire market in India? How many players already operate here? Is the market saturated? That is, are the customers happy with what they're getting at the price they're paying? Or are there frequent supply shortages or an entire segment, maybe off-road bikes, that currently has no choice but to import tires at great expense? How fast is the market growing? What price are tires of the kind we make currently being sold at? Can we sell at a lower price at the same or better quality? All these questions and more will help you answer how much market share you can reasonably expect over a particular time period, which helps you answer the key question, how much money can I make? Now that we've considered revenues, let's look at costs and operational issues that are just as important and in fact often much more complicated to resolve. Should I manufacture in India? What will it involve? Are there government regulations requiring me to manufacture in or source from India? What kind of taxes and duties will I have to pay? Is the central government or any of the state governments offering any benefits or deductions? What are average salaries for managers, sales representatives, CEOs, shop floor workers? In short, what will my wage bill look like? What are land acquisition issues like? Or let's say I've been approached by a firm for a joint venture. I'd like a due diligence done on that company. And the list of these questions can go on and on. The key point is that a large corporation won't just enter the market on a whim. There is a lot of complex decision making involved. Now, the company has to make a choice. It can either rely on the internet and on its own sources and knowledge bank to gather this information, or it could hire a consultant to do it and offer choices or make a recommendation. So let's look at what all types of work a consulting company actually does. Market entry strategy, as we just discussed with the tire manufacturer case, is just one possible example. Other cases could involve sorting out tax issues and government regulations. Let's say I need to close a factory because it's costing me too much to run. What will the process involve and what will it cost me? How soon can I actually do it? Let's say our sales were growing at 10% a year till 2010. Since then, our growth rate has come down to 5 to 6%. Help us figure out why. Or my costs are going totally haywire. Help. Our business model has stayed largely the same for 30 years, but now these upstart B2B SaaS companies are swallowing my business. How can I adapt? This is all business strategy consulting, and it's some of the most important work that the top consulting companies do. Having said that, a lot of the work done by the top consulting companies is not strategy consulting. One consultant from a top-tier management consulting firm told us that he spent time working in a factory to optimize the factory's processes. His team did the optimization, worked with the supervisors, piloted the changes, saw that the projected savings were actually happening. He also did sales acceleration on the ground for the extended sales arm of a truck manufacturing company. The project team spent time with dealers, service centers, sales staff, and effectively were on the ground selling trucks for 25 days. These are some of the projects consultants work on. The consultant sits with the client, understands his exact requirements and business case, and comes back with a report that could include, among other things, a recommended action plan for what the client should do next. The team could even be responsible for overseeing the execution of the project. So now you have a brief idea of what actually goes into the PowerPoint presentations that consultants make. The next question is, how does the consulting industry actually make money? What's the business model? So there are a few standard business models that the industry follows. The first source of revenue relates directly to the main service they offer, consulting services. A client could engage a consulting company either on a retainer basis, which means they paid a fixed amount every month or quarter for a specified set of services. Alternatively, there could be milestone-based payments. For example, if I'm trying to set up a manufacturing facility in a new country, I'll pay you X when you help me sign a lease for land, Y when the factory is built and staffed, Z when we start rolling out motorcycles from the facility, and so on. When the work is routine and easy to define, then there could simply be an hourly payments model. The consulting company will employ union consultants to do specific tasks and will bill the client on a per hour of work done basis. If the outcome is easy to define, then there could be a success fee model. If we win this contract, we pay you X dollars or Y% of the contract value. These models could change very rapidly though. That's something we'll discuss in video 3 of consulting, where we talk about what the industry is likely to look like in a few years' time. These consulting fees can be quite high. Think hundreds of dollars an hour for the top people. That's because you're not paying for a person, but for the expertise that has been built over years. The firm is being hired to come in and quickly solve thorny problems. Now let's take a look at the different kinds of consulting firms. This could quite depend on the type of functions that the firm performs. There are strategy consulting firms such as McKinsey and Bain. They're likely to be engaged when the client wants to make big changes to how it works. For example, if the company wants to start manufacturing a new product line and wants to figure out which direction to head towards. That's a big change that will impact the company's financial for years, so this is a decision they don't take lightly. Such strategy consulting firms are going to be quite expensive to engage and on average pay the highest salaries too. Now keep in mind that such firms could also be hired to work in other areas such as operations or implementation. However, the common ground is that these are likely big problems needs to solve quickly. They're not going to spend a few $100,000 to figure out the best way to manage employee reimbursements. Then there are operation consulting firms. These guys are going to come in and try to revamp specific functions and solve very specific problems. For example, marketing consulting. I've developed a new product, help me build a marketing plan and roll it out. Tech consulting. Take my concert ticketing business online and build a website where my customers can see real-time seat availability and book tickets and download them with no human intervention. HR consulting. My company's grown really fast and the reimbursements, payroll and expense management hasn't kept up and is slowing down our real estate projects. Help us speed it up. Or even our health insurance costs are going through the roof. Do you have an expert who could work with us for a couple of months and figure a great deal that helps us get better coverage and still reduce premiums? Or legal consulting. We want to set up a company that makes vaccines and generic medicines, but aren't very clear on what the liability issues are in case there are adverse events. Can your team help us figure it out? You get the point. Firms like Accenture, Deloitte, KPMG, they're great at this. They have massive sector-specific teams working on things such as tax, HR, aerospace and defense, and more. These guys don't charge their clients as much as the top-tier strategy consulting firms do, on average, and hence even the salaries they pay are going to be somewhat lower. Then there are the boutique consulting firms. These guys are razor-focused on one or two industries or functions, and that's all they do. They say that they can't provide all the services that a large operations consulting firm can. But because they're hyper-focused, they're experts in their domain and probably have the biggest network too. There are boutique firms focusing on import laws, investment policies for a specific sector, solar farms set up, government incentives, carbon offsets, and many more examples. So that's what a consulting company does in very brief. Now the next question. What does a consultant do? What's a consultant's average day like? And more to help you answer the question, is consulting for me? Now there are a few things to look at when we try to analyze this. The money is definitely very good. This is among the best paying careers. Also, if you're the kind of person who can't stick to one thing for too long, this could be the perfect industry for you. For the first many years, you'll be working on new industries and projects every few months. Eventually, you could find one industry you're really into and focus on consulting projects in that area alone and become a domain consultant. Or you could even, after a few years, leave and join a company in that industry, which is actually very common among consultants who worked in one industry for a long period. In any case, a consultant's life is not monotonous. There's enough to keep things exciting. New projects, new clients, crazy deadlines, work pressure. A boring industry, this is not. This was an introduction to what the consulting industry is about. In our next video, we'll explore how you can actually get into the industry and what your career there will look like and how things change as you grow within the industry. We'll leave a link to the next part at the end of this video. Stay tuned, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and keep watching.